I'm John Warner, and welcome to part 5 of the Modstache tutorial for creating a shopping list application. In this part, we're going to add some styling and additional functionality to make it easier to enter and mark the list items. Okay, first off, let's add a new event to the input so that instead of hitting the add button all the time, we can just hit the enter key. So to do that, I'm going to add an on key press event, and I'm going to call a check enter function. Okay, so we'll call this check enter and pass in the context, and here I'm going to access the event object passed to the handler. So I'll include that parameter, and let's see if it's an enter key, and I do that by just checking the code. If it's enter, I can then add the item. Now I can do that using the same method here by going to base add item, passing it the context, and that's it. So let's go ahead and refresh this. So now if I add a new item and I just hit enter, you can see that automatically adds to my list. Alright, next let's add an additional functionality to click on the label itself to mark it as purchased or complete. So to do that is very simple. I don't even need Modstache to do that. All I need to do is encase everything in a label. Okay, so let's get the indentation right. Okay, so now when I refresh this and I click here, it will automatically check or uncheck my checkbox. Alright, now finally, let's see if we can add some styling. Now I've prepared some styling that I'm just going to paste into my header here, and then we'll apply that to the markup. So all it's going to do is set the background color. Now you can see things are still not how I want them here, and that's because I need to define some additional styling down here. So let's add a div, and I want to encase everything in my list inside this div. Let's give it a class of shopping list. Okay, so by doing that, everything is now left aligned and centered. And you can see how I did that. I just assigned shopping list as an inline block, left align the text, and set my margins to auto to keep it centered. Next, let's add additional styling to our items, make those look better. You can see I have some markup here. I'll go over that as soon as I add the classes. So here, let's add a class of items. And then for each item, I want to mark that with its own class as just item. Alright, so I've saved that. Now this has different backgrounds for each item so that you can see more clearly the different lines. And just looking at the styling, I've set different background colors for odd and even divs, and adjusted some margins. Now I've also adjusted my link, so I have to be hovering over it to see the little X. So if I wanted to delete something, I now don't see that all the time. And this concludes the tutorial. You can see that everything is working properly, looks good. If I refresh, everything is saved using the state. All very easily created using one HTML file with the Modstache library.